and welcome. So today's video is actually a requested one. A lot of people have been writing me asking for advice on how to get a ball python as a pet, mainly because their parents aren't quite into the idea of them getting a snake. So today's video is all the information you could ever need if you're a parent on what to expect if your child wants a ball python. If you're a parent watching this, let me say welcome. Taking this step forward to actually seek out information about this snake is a big step, and I really appreciate that you're here. So just give me a few minutes and I will tell you everything you need to know about ball pythons as pet. First off, let's start by diffusing some of these myths that surround the ball python. The ball python is not venomous, it's not poisonous, it's not gonna eat you, it's not gonna strangle you, it's not this small death machine that Hollywood always portray them to be. Ball pythons are actually pretty gentle creatures. The reason why ball pythons is such a popular pet is because that they have this beautiful look to them and they are often very, very gentle. It's very rare that you see an aggressive ball python. Of course it happens as it does with dogs and cats as well, but ball pythons in general are very, very gentle, they're very docile, and they're very, very easy to handle. I'm sure as a parent you have tons of questions about these amazing animals, and I'm gonna do my best to answer all of them. I gathered a few questions, the most important ones I think for you in this video today, and I'm gonna start out by the most basic one of all of them. What is a ball python? I'm pretty sure you know already that a ball python is a snake, but what kind of snake is it really? There are tons and tons of different kinds of snake, and they come in all sorts of sizes and colors. I'm gonna introduce you to two of my ball pythons today, and I'm gonna start off with the big one. This is a ball python. This is an adult female, which means that this is roughly the size that they get to when they grow into adults. They don't get much bigger than this. Of course, there are a few specimens, like in dogs and cats, that gets bigger. The normal ball python won't get much bigger than this girl. She's a female, and she's a couple of years old. Of course, there's both males and females. Usually the females get bigger, so if it's the size you're worried about, you should definitely go for a male. As you can see, she's pretty calm, she's pretty gentle. She's very, very easy to handle. Not aggressive at all. As you can see, I can pretty much hold her any way I want to. This is the standard for almost every ball python. Basically, you can just grab them and hold them. Of course, ball pythons are not pets. They're not like cats and dogs. They don't enjoy being held, they don't enjoy being touched, they tolerate it. And that's the thing to remember about snakes, is that they are more a hobby than they are a pet. So that's one thing to remember. This is the adult female, and for size comparison, I'm gonna bring out my 1-year male. He's a bit bigger than what they are when you get them, if you get them from when they are just born, but you can see the size comparison. Alright, so this is Noel. He's my 1-year-old male ball python. As you can see, the size difference is pretty obvious. This girl is a couple of years old and this one is only 1 year old. Normally ball pythons, they are slow growers. It depends on how much you feed them. There are this thing called speed feeding. I don't condone that, because that basically means you just keep on feeding and feeding them, and then they end up getting big, yes, but also fat. As you can see, I have no trouble handling both ball pythons at once, which means that this one too is also pretty calm. Ball pythons in general, as I said before, they are very docile. They're very easy to handle, and beyond that, they're just amazing to look at. Look at the colors of these two. This one completely white with blue eyes, and this one has more colors to them. You can basically get any color you want. There are so many morph types that you can choose from, but also, of course, depending on the price that you want to go, the wild type, as it's called, the normal ball python is a lot cheaper than these morphs. But if you want to go for something that has a bit more color, it might be worth to pay the extra money for that. You may also be a bit worried about the next question, which is, what does a ball python eat? And no, they don't eat humans, they don't eat tiny babies, they won't eat your cat, don't worry. Ball pythons, they will eat mice and rats. And the reason why your ball python won't eat your child or your cat or your dog is because that the snake simply isn't big enough. In order to eat something that big, the snake has to be massive. A ball python this size will eat a medium to large sized rat, and that is something that you will have to deal with. There are two ways of feeding your snake. You can either do a frozen feeding or a live feeding. I always recommend that you do the frozen feeding because that way both animals, both the rat or the mice won't get scared, and the snake won't be in risk of being harmed by the mouse or the rat. If they bite the snake, there can be an infection, and that could be really, really bad. It's pretty simple feeding a frozen rat or a mice. What you do is that you take it out, put it in warm water until it's not frozen anymore, and then you feed it to the snake. It's very, very simple. There's no blood, there's no gore, no nothing. It's easy, it's quick, and it's simple. These frozen rats or mice can be bought at your local pet store. The thing as a parent you have to remember about ball pythons is they're very, very easy to take care of. It's easily something your son or daughter could do. I myself have my young nephew and nieces all the way down to 4 years old. They are up here helping me, taking care of the animals and even handling them. Your next question may be what a ball python requires when it comes to housing, and I'm gonna show you that now, so just hang on for a second. Here is an example of how a ball python terrarium can look. As you can see, the terrarium itself is not that big. That's okay. The ball python doesn't require much space, so that's another plus. This is Noel, my young male. You saw him just before, and this is how I designed his terrarium. If you are more into like a beautiful terrarium, making it look more natural, please be my guest. I absolutely adore when terrariums are looking beautiful. It's almost like, you know, a pretty aquarium you can look at. I really, really like that. The reason why Noel's a newspaper is because we have so many snakes, and newspapers are very quick and they're very easy to change. These are the three most important things that you need in the terrarium. A hide here in the cold end, and a hide here in the warm end. And the reason why you need a hide is because in nature the ball pythons, they live underground. So they really depend on the hide, and they need it to not feeling stressed. If the ball pythons are stressed, they might not eat. So it's very, very important that you have the hide. In the middle here we have the water bowl. A ball python doesn't need a big water bowl. This is a perfect size for Noel. They don't soak, they don't swim, they don't do any kinds of that. They just use it for drinking. So that's pretty easy. Underneath one of these hides, I think it's the one here on the left, I have what's called a warming mat, and that's the heat source. Ball pythons, they don't need a lightning bulb. It might stress them even more. They can do with natural light just fine, but they do need a heating mat. And heating mats, they are quite clever. You can hook them up, so they will only be on for, let's say, 12 hours a day, and then they will turn them off for the next 12 hours. I'm gonna change the setup right now so you can see. This will also give you an excellent idea how much time you actually need to spend cleaning the terrarium. Doesn't take more than a couple of minutes, so yeah, let's go for it. First thing I'm gonna do is to make sure that the snake is awake. Noel here. That was pretty much it. That took me a minute, I think. You may be wondering if the snake is gonna smell. The snake does not have a natural smell, but when he poops, you will be able to smell it. Same as with the cats and dogs. As soon as you remove the poop, you won't be able to smell it. It's not like the snake poops every day. Not at all. After you feed them, it will take a couple of days, sometimes weeks, depending on how big the prey is, and then they will poop it out, and that's about it. A ball python is very, very easy to take care of, and it is a job that I think even young people, very young people, can easily do. They need fresh water about every day, but you can actually go on vacation for several days as long as you make sure that they've been fed before you leave, and then just leave a big bowl of water. Ball pythons are not an animal to be scared of. They are something to be admired, and they are something to be treated with respect. And I adore, whenever I see young people coming up to me showing me their snake or telling me stories about them, I absolutely enjoy hearing them talk, because they seem to take a lot of pride in it, and they seem to take a lot of responsibility. Whenever my young nephew and nieces are up here taking care of my animals, they do it with the utmost respect. They're so respectful to the animal, and they're so caring, and they pay so much attention to what the animal needs. It's incredible to watch. And furthermore, ball pythons, they're just badass. It's a badass snake to have. I have a lot of different snakes here in my reptile room, but the ball pythons are absolutely one of my favorites, and I always recommend them whenever people ask me what kind of snake they should have as their first. Ball pythons, they're amazing. They don't grow too big. They're easy to care for. They're docile. They're beautiful looking, and they're very, very forgiving. As a parent, one of the reasons you don't want your child to have a snake might be that you are not that keen on snakes. You might even be a bit scared of them. And that's totally understandable. I mean, I can understand more than anyone. I once had a big fear of tarantulas. Like, I was so scared of spiders. Then I bought a tarantula. I didn't sleep for 5 days, but after that I seem to come around, and now I have 6 of them. So as a parent, I can understand that you're scared, but I urge you to embrace this experience. Embrace it for the sake of your child. They're not scared of snakes. They don't want to be scared. So give them this chance to show not only themselves, but you as well, and the world around them, that snakes are not scary. They're not scary. They're amazing creatures. Do yourself a favor. Give yourself and your child, give all of you a chance to not be scared of these creatures anymore. Give yourself a chance to experience something new, and give your child a chance to prove that they can take care of this animal. Give them that chance. It's the easiest animal you can find. Besides from a fish, it's the easiest, even not that, because the fish needs to be fed every day. The snake doesn't. It's the easiest animal to take care of. I really hope you enjoyed what I had to show you out there. As usual, if you have any questions or any comments, don't hesitate to write me. I'll do my best to reply to all of you. I really appreciate you guys. I really, really do. You've been so nice to me. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. And as usual, you can find me on Instagram under the name jossersjungle. And parents, if you have not yet clicked away from this video, I have an email address in the description box underneath this video. If you have any questions, anything, just write me. I'll do my best to answer. I'm not scary, I promise. This is not to persuade anyone, this is just information. Anything at all you need, just write me. That's all for today. Thank you and bye bye.